And welcome, we're back. My name's Burton. I'm sitting here with the legendary Harrison Calloway, and we wanted to kind of fill you in on what's been happening with Harrison lately. Harrison, welcome back, and it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Bert.
This is another one of our fun little interviews.
Oh man, I love it.
Yeah. So the last time we spoke, you were having a birthday party.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I celebrated, to your viewers, I celebrated my 74th birthday. And man, it was a blast, and had a lot of my associates and entertainers, musicians, artists, and everybody just attended, and I had one of the best times of my life. And I want to thank Malaco and for helping me sponsor, and it was at the Crossroads Club here in Jackson, and we just had a great time, man.
Well, we talked about, the last interview, we talked about who all was in attendance, but for the viewers that didn't get to watch that video, who all showed up for your birthday?
Oh, we had Miss Vicki Baker out of Vicksburg, Tennessee. We also had one of our artists, Lerone Powers, Katrina Jefferson, Andre Lee, Val McKnight, and even we had our brother Outlaw came in and did a nice little presentation, and a host of other entertainers. We just had a good time, man. Did
you get any good memorable birthday presents?
Yes, as we talked about it, I guess I overemphasized sometimes, but I'm a member of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and my good friend Vicki Baker out of Vicksburg, she's a Delta, as is my daughter, and every birthday she brings me something. So she said, Harrison, what time is it? I said, it's new time, and she gave me a brand new Kappa.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, good. It sounds like you had a good time.
We really did, Bert.
I guess it went late into the evening.
Yeah, it started pretty much on time, but once we got into it, didn't nobody want to leave, so we kind of went over a little bit, but it was all good.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that was back in November, and you're probably still full from Thanksgiving, but well, you got any plans coming up for the holiday season?
Yes, the holiday. Let me back up a minute. Right after Thanksgiving, or a little before Thanksgiving, I got a call from Tommy Jr. about a new artist that Malaco just signed, Castro, Mr. Sip.
That's right.
And great artist, man. I think he's going to be good for the company. And I got a chance during the Thanksgiving holidays to pen some horn arrangements for his new CD. And good writer and a good artist.
So now you don't still play the horns, do you?
No. This particular session, and the sessions that, Malaco is one of the few that still does live horns. Mm-hmm. You got the keyboard horns and they sound so when I spoke with Junior, we wanted to do live horns, so we did it right across the street in the studio, and I used surprisingly a horn section called the Kappa horns.
The Kappa horn?
Yes.
Okay. Now where's that name come from?
Well, everybody on the set that played horns, my little section leader, Kimmel Funches, he was the lead. He was the section leader. Mm-hmm. Plays trumpet and has been scoring and doing the copying for my arrangements for years. He's one of my prime students. Had Mr. Jesse Primer Jr., Dr. Jesse Primer Jr. at the older music department at Tougaloo, and another guy that plays trombone named Will Brown, that's a graduate of Jackson State College.
Okay. I guess the horn section, is it your horn section that you...
Well, we just thought about it. It was spontaneously to see all the guys that Kimmel chose to be on the horn section have to be in the same fraternity.
Oh, wow.
But formally they call themselves the Jackson Horns, so we'll say the Kappa Horns by way of the Jackson Horns.
Okay. Have you been working together a long time with the horn section?
I've worked with the youngest member of the trombone player. He doubles on tenor trombone and bass trombone. Mm-hmm. He's our newest member, but Kimmel and Jesse, we have worked on several things on some of Malaco's projects.
Okay. Any of the horn section, any of those possibly your students that you trained?
Well, Kimmel, back in the day when I was band leader for Johnny Till, I was the director and I tried to play the trumpet at the same time, so it would be better for me. Mr. Taylor said, why don't you just direct and hire you another trumpet player to play the trumpet. So I hired Kimmel. So Kimball has been with me for over 20 to 25 years.
Oh, wow.
I hate to tell his age, but
That's right. So the Castro session, the Mr. Sip session went really well. It sounds like that. Of all the songs that you heard so far, any one kind of stand out to you?
yes, you know, one of our greatest writers of all times. He just recently passed a couple of years ago, Mr. George Jackson, and I really never like to do an interview about remembering some of the songs that he wrote and some of the ideas that I got from him. He wrote a song years back on Clarence Carter called Slip Away, Too Weak to Fight, and I had a horn line go did it, and George said, that's great. So in one of Castro's songs, I put that same line in, and people said, well, I remember that from somewhere. I said, that was Clarence Carter.
Wow.
And guess what the song, George wrote a song called Last $2 was done to tell.
That's right.
Now here come Castro with a song called I Hit the Jackpot.
Wow. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So you and George, I guess, have worked together. For you to pay homage to him, y'all have worked together for quite a long time.
Yes, he's a most memorable writer, and we were so disheartened for his loss, but we're still carrying on some of his work.
That's great. With your kind of tying this into the horn section with the Kappa horns, and you were with the Muscle Shoals horns, and you pay tribute to George with using a horn line in Castro's new CD,
yes.
New album. Did you and George collaborate any with the Muscle Shoals? Did George ever appear on any of your
Yes,
albums?
George was a writer at Fame, and also he was a writer at Muscle Shoals Sound. And we did 3 albums on Bang Records, Areola Records, with the Muscle Shoals horns, that is. And Barry Beckett was a producer, and he said, Harrison, why don't you get George to sing a duet with you? And George wrote a song called Can't Break the Habit. Well, we kind of let our mind be a little imaginary when we said habit. So, but we both smoked cigarettes, and George wrote Can't Break the Habit. I know it's true. I can't break the habit because I'm addicted to those cigarettes, eating food, however you want to put that, women, and so forth and so on.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, neat. So your Christmas holidays, you're busy with the Mr. Sip Castro album.
Yes.
Anything coming up for the new year that you're working on?
Yes, I'm working on my book. It's going to be called Just Another Horn Player. And as you read some of my endeavors over the years, in the end you'll find out maybe Harrison Calloway Jr. was just not another horn player. He did a lot of things outside of just playing the horn. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at the book maybe around the middle of next year or somewhat. And I'm really concentrating on that. And still I love doing what I'm doing, working with the different artists and the musicians and the people that keeps me going. That's
great. So now you come in here to Malakote to work. Do you record anywhere else?
Yes, I have a partner named Forrest Jook Gordon. Sometimes when we can't get in Malakote, or artists can't afford to record here, where he has a little studio called the Gate Studio, mm-hmm. and we do a lot of small projects down there. And like we worked on Billy Soul's album, which is coming out, the Cat Daddy CD. Mm-hmm. We have Miss Valvacious McKnight and Wilson Meadows, and all those folk did that at the studio. We would rather have been here, but I think financially we went to the second best place.
Right. Well, and I remember you telling me, just kind of switching gears a little bit, mm-hmm. You told me a little bit about your just the popularity of these little interviews that we do with. Even your daughter watched it and said, "Hey, Daddy, you didn't tell me about Elton John or whatever." So.
Well, when she was a kid, her name is Satori Denise Calloway, and when she was a young kid, she would see me going in and out of town, but when she was so young, she really didn't understand. Now, she see you and I on here talking about Elton John and all these people, John Lennon I played. She said, "Daddy, why didn't you tell me?" So I've had to kind of go back and refreshing her memory on some of the things that I did in my earlier days.
Well, you especially need to tell her about the good-looking guy that's doing the interview for you.
Right. She'd say, "What's that guy?"
That's right. Well, I think that about covers everything for catching up from your birthday party. And anything else you'd want to add?
Well, again, I want to thank you so much for taking the patience and the time to let me express some of my feelings over the 74 years that I've been around, and to your viewers and your audience. I hope I'll be around 74.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Malico's got a great following here on YouTube and on Facebook, so they'll be excited to see what's going on with Harrison.
Well, great, Bert.
Well, sounds good. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
I will.